everybody, this is Husky10. Um, Today I am actually gonna kind of show you a logo I made. The latest logo is Husky10 Halloween 2021. Okay, for some reason it didn't, yeah. Here it is. You click the pumpkin to play. Here's a little tutorial. Use the WASD keys to jump and move around, stay in the air. I already lost. You collect the pumpkins to score. A pretty simple game. Yeah, my high score is 8. You can play this as many times as you want and see how high of a score. My highest is like 17 pumpkins. This is kind of a hard game. It's based on Flappy Bird mechanics. Now let's look a little bit behind the scenes of how this game works by recreating it. This is a tutorial kind of on how I made it. So I'm going to create a new project and I am going to create an empty project. I don't care where I save it. New scene. I'm going to make the background black, and I'm going to insert a new character. I'm going to say player. You can make this player whatever you want. I'm going to make mine blue. Oh, come on. Or that color. Hit apply. And I am going to add a simple behavior, the platformer behavior. But we want to use default controls. But we don't want to use default controls. So we're going to add a new event. I'm going to add a new group. I'm going to put in the group. I'm going to call it player movement. Okay, so we're going to say when the key pressed. I'm going to say W because I want this to be mobile friendly. For some reason, when you turn this into a HTML5 page, it won't let you use the keys that well, because if you use the keys, it will move the entire screen and make the game unplayable. So you want to use the WASD keys if you're exporting this to HTML5, which I will show in a little bit. We're going to say simulate jump. Hit OK. But we also want to allow jump again. So let's press play. And see, it's kind of like Flappy Bird. I'm going to change the I'm going to change the maximum speed to equal 50. And let's play it again. I'm going to lower it again to 20. Let's see what that does. Okay, that appears to do nothing. So if that doesn't work, then go to your behavior. We're going to change that to 20. You can change the jump speed to whatever you want. But I'm gonna put it to 100. 100 might work better. Let's see. Nope. So let's try 600. And we're back where we started, so I'm gonna lower it by 1. So I'm gonna say 500 to make it slower. Press play. They're much better, much smoother. But there's gotta be a way to do it in the code, though. Oh, there's jump speed. Let's try 400. This probably won't work either. To test it, I'm going to set it to 1 for testing purposes. Right now, all I'm doing... Okay, it works, so we can change it through here, but I'm going to change it back to 500. So, the next one is you want to... When the D key is pressed, so key pressed, we're going to say D, hit OK. We want to simulate left. No, we want to simulate right. So, simulate right key press, hit OK. We're going to copy, we're going to set the maximum speed. We're going to equal to 500. Hit OK. We now have a player that can move right when you jump, and so we're going to copy this, create a new event, paste it, and we're going to set it to A, to the A key. So we're going to copy set the maximum speed, and then we're going to simulate the left key press. Hit OK. I like to keep all my ducks in a row, so you now have a player that can move right. So you now have a player that jumps. This is the mechanics that I used for the game. This is practically how I did the player. Now I'm going to show you how I did the pumpkin. So I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to call collectible. I'm going to create a new object. I'm going to create a sprite. I'm going to call it collect. I'm going to color it. I'll color it red. This red. Well, it's more of a scarlet, but who cares? And we're going to say add the condition at the beginning of the scene. Hit OK. We're going to create the object random 750. Oh, come on. By random 600. It can be 600 or 5. I'm gonna say 500. What the heck? So when we press play, there we go. It's collected, but when the player collides with it, it doesn't do anything. So we are going to say when the player is in collision with collect, we are going to delete collect, and we are going to create the copy and paste our create object there. So let's test this out. You now have a fully functioning game. You might want to have to play around with the create object, because sometimes it will disappear and it will go out of the screen. But dying, what about dying? First off, I'm going to go to my game settings. I'm going to uncheck that. I'm going to press play, see what happens. Okay. Alright, so we have the problem. It falls out of the screen and nothing happens. So I'm going to add a new scene, call it lose, and we're going to create a border. So create a new tile and call it border, create and edit with Pascal. Let's color the border a dark red so people would know not to touch it. Hit apply, add it to our screen like that, like so. It doesn't have to look perfect. We also want to create one more thing. We're going to say that our collect separate from from the border, so that way it doesn't overlap. We're going to say when player is in collision with the border, we're going to change the scene to lose. Hit OK. So now we have a game. You can collect all this. When you collect the border, collide with the border, you die. I'm gonna create a death scene, color it black, hit OK. I'm gonna create a new object, a new text object, and say you lose. Font isn't important, but I like to use fonts. I'm gonna color it, let's color it green. make it bigger. And we have a you lose screen. So let's play our game so far. Alright, I lost already. You can change the acceleration. I'm gonna change the speed to 300. Because it's still a little fast. The jump is okay. Hang on. You might have to do it through the behavior. I'm gonna say 500 for an acceleration. Alright, we also want to add a score. So I'm gonna add a text. I'm gonna call it score. Again with the font, I'm gonna color it red. Hit apply. And we have a small score. I'm gonna create a global variable, call it score. You can call it whatever you like as long as you can keep track of it, and we're going to set it to 0. Why did I turn on caps lock when I typed in a number? So we're going to say when the player is in collision with collect, we're going to boost. We're going to go to variables and other actions, value of a global variable, score. We're going to add 1 every time it's collected. And now we want to modify the text. So select our score and select modify text. Go to select equals or set to as an operator. And here's where we get put in our value. To do that, if there's an easy way, just click this little icon here. Go to variables, text of a global variable, and find score. Hit apply. Now, to have your text appear in front of the score, you go like this. You add a quotation mark, score, space, quotation mark, space, and then a plus. And then hit OK. Now we have a better looking game. I'm going to set this back. This is a skill game. There you have it. Now how to put the high score here. We want to copy our score. Go to lose and then paste it. Go to our lose scene and paste it and then put it here. And then we want to say modify the text of the score. And do the same thing we did over there. Hit OK. Oh, there we go. Now in our scene, we want to say at the beginning of the scene, Add the condition at the beginning of the scene. Alright, we want to reset the variable, so global variable, value of a global variable, and then score equals 0. So at the beginning of the scene, our variable will be 0. So let's play our game. Oh, come on. I only did one. Who made this piece of shit? Yeah, this is a game of skill. Okay, make it yourself, add a menu, add a return to scene, and tell me what your high score is. And leave in the comments below what your high score is of your own game. You can make it hard, you can make it easy, you can make it however you want. You can even add an obstacle here, like say I put one here. This might make it a little too hard though. Yeah, it made it way too hard. Always try to keep your player center, and that's about it. That's how I made. That's kind of how I made my That's how I made my latest logo. I just replaced the sprites with a skull and a pumpkin. The finished product for that game looked kind of like this. It looked like this. Oh, I probably died already. It looked like this. This is how I got 21. Again, build it, play it, and tell me what score you got in your own game. Or you can just play the one I put out. Or you can play the one I put out for Halloween and tell me what score you got in the comments below. Alright, thank you for watching. Subscribe. I do tutorials like this. I do devlogs. And I do all around gaming. So if you're interested in that, hit like and subscribe. Thank you.